Mabuhay! Welcome to Music Education Class. Together, let us explore and discover the music during the Romantic period. In addition, we're going to discuss also the beauty and significance of Niccolo Paganini's music. In this module, you will be engaged to different activities that will help you understand the basic concept and principles of the Western classical music. But before we begin, let us check your prior knowledge. All you have to do is to read each question carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. The correct answer is letter D. The correct answer is letter A. The correct answer is letter D. The correct answer is letter C. The correct answer is letter C. Congratulations! You did a great job! Before we go further, let's have a short recap. In this activity, you're going to match the composer's name in column A to his composition in column B. Choose the correct answer and write it on the space provided before each number. You're given 30 seconds to complete this. Great work! Your memory surely did not fail you. Now, we can start our lesson. Are you ready? And now, let us discover the music of Niccolo Paganini under the Romantic period. Some musicians, composers, and researchers around the world describe Romantic period as a cultural movement that stressed emotion, imagination, individualism, and freedom of expression. Nationalism is one of the main features of this era. This is evidently shown in some compositions made by Romantic composers, one of which is the Polonaise of Frédéric Chopin, a dance composition for piano which is famous in Poland until today. It was during the heights of popularity of Ludwig van Beethoven, one of the great composers during the classical period, made a great distinction to change the face of composing music by bridging the music from classical to Romantic era. The culture of extensive music education in Europe extends from the classical period and explored more in this era. Orchestra grows in number and became limitless. Composers explored instrumentation, and many compositions were inspired by emotions in addition to musical theme. The music during this period used forms borrowed from classical music and made them bigger, longer songs in more instruments. The themes they wrote in their compositions are mainly about nature, literature, history, and feelings. Now let's talk about the famous composer of violin in string music, Niccolo Paganini. Niccolo Paganini was born on October 27, 1782 in Genoa, Italy, in a family of 6 children. His musical skills started with playing the mandolin at the age of 5. He eventually transferred his training to the violin at the age of 7 with different renowned violin professors in Italy. His violin teachers could not keep up with the progress of his violin skills, that he kept on transferring from one violin teacher to another and was therefore filled with all their influences. His compositions inspired a lot of other composers such as Franz Liszt, Frédéric Chopin, and Robert Schumann, to name a few. Some works of Niccolo Paganini are the following: La Campanella, 24 caprices for solo violin, Opus 1, Concerto No. 1 in Ebb, Opus 6, 15 quartets for guitar and strings trio, and the Carnival of Venice. That ends our discussion about Niccolo Paganini's music. For your activity, I want you to look at least 5 familiar terms from the pool of letters below and write down on the space provided. Answers can be in any order. You have 60 seconds in this activity. The possible answers are Nationalism, La Campanella, Paganini, Violin, Romantic Music. To wrap our discussion up, I want you to enhance the oral ability in your imagination in listening to music. Draw your own interpretation of one of the famous compositions of Niccolo Paganini's La Campanella in a piece of short band paper. Write a short description of the output at the back of the paper. Take a picture of your output and forward it to your teacher. Again, you did a great job. For this time, I want you to complete the unfinished sentences and place your answer in your journal log. And now, to assess your knowledge and understanding on the lesson, for your post-test, I want you to read each statement below and write the correct answer needed. Write your answers in the space provided before the number. Please write legibly. You only have 20 seconds for each question. The correct answer is letter B. The correct answer is letter B. The correct answer is letter C. The correct answer is letter D. The correct answer is letter D. Congratulations! You did a great job. I hope next session you will do great as much as you did today. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from our session today. See you next time, and it's time for me to sign off and say goodbye.